What's going on, YouTube? We have Shak Lewis here at Imperial Gaming and Collectibles. My name is Sonic. We'll be hosting this interview for Shak Lewis. Tell us what you did.
So I got 14th at the Philadelphia Regional. There were 740 players, and I was undefeated up until round 8. Unfortunately, in round 9, I made an unfortunate misplay, which caused me to lose the game. And then round 10, I didn't see a Maliss girl, so I just wasn't able to play my deck. But I do want to give a few shout-outs. Shout out to Team Imperial, and I want to shout out my testing partners, Will and Johan. They really helped me prepare for this event. We did a lot of in-depth theory crafting with these decks, the Rizal Fiendsmith and the Maliss deck. And I think that really helped me to do as well as I did on Saturday.
So you felt like you were well prepared?
Yeah, 100%. I saw a lot of people playing cards that we had tested previously and kind of dismissed because they weren't up to par. So it was good to see that all of my testing it actually worked out.
All right, cool. So let's get into the
let's do the card by card. So first we have 3 Maliss Underground. So this card is just Gold Sark for any of your Maliss names. It also has the additional effect that your opponent has to attack your link monsters. And the third effect is if all 3 traps are banished, you get boosted by 3k. This never came up yesterday, but it is a really, it's a useful effect. It helps you get over really big bodies, like unaffected Chaos Angels and stuff like that. It can also help your Heart Spectre get up to 10,000, something crazy. So good card. Next, we have the Maliss girls themselves. We have 3 Maliss P Dormbells. This is the best 1-card starter. You normal her and she's literally full combo with no other commitment. Her other effect comes up a lot too with Exciton Knight running around the format. You can cheekily summon this out and put an extra link girl and she won't get destroyed. So she's pretty good. Then we have 3 White Rabbit. This is the best one, but she's not the best 1-card starter. She just sets a trap from the deck, so you use her on your opponent's turn to set up your MTP for your extra interruption plays. And then her effect is I don't think you take any battle damage from battles involving your Maliss link, so that's good. And then for what people call the worst one is the Chessy Cat. I play 2 of this. A lot of builds are playing 1. I think it's just useful at 2 because if one of them gets stopped and it's stuck in the banish pile, you just want to have another one just in case. So that's the Maliss girls. And then for the honorary Maliss cards, we have 1 Code of Soul and 1 Dotskeeper. So this card is the one you never want to draw, but he makes the combo ceiling way higher because you just banish him off Red Ransom and he's a free extra body. And then for the Code of Soul, this card is pretty heavily debated in the Maliss community. It's just a free extender and it lets you link summon on your opponent's turn. So it kind of eliminates the need for IP. But I like it. It goes really well with my combo.
I have been seeing some people say they were cutting Code of Soul out from their main decks.
I don't know. He just being a free body. He makes all of your combos that much better.
Okay.
But for the rest of the Maliss cards, we just have the 3 traps: TB11, GWC06, and MTP07. So this card is probably the worst one, but it's the best one for your turn. And then GWC is the one you just want to end on, and MTP is the one you just want to set on their turn because it's the entirely banished. It came up a few times yesterday that I was just gaining life off this to win in time. And good card good.
I mean, that's important when time rules come into effect.
Yep, when people want to cheese in time, you can just set that, and then there's times where you can even spam it. So you can set it with White Rabbit, use it, and then reset it with White Binder, so you can just do a double game.
Nice.
And for the consistency cards, we have 1 Gold Sark, 1 Terraforming, 1 Talents, 1 Thrust, and 1 Called By. So this is just for Lancia. This is really good if they nib you because that's what really hurts the deck. So you can use this, search this, and look in their hand, or maybe you can search for this to extend. Terraforming is just another copy of the field spell.
Okay.
And for the hand traps, we have a lot of them. We have 3 Ash, 3 Fualos, 3 Nibiru, 3 Imperm, 3 Shifter, and we have 1 Magna, 2 Druids, and 1 Baldry. So you'll notice that there's no supplementary engine in this, and it's because in testing I realized that none of the engines bridge you into your Maliss cards, unfortunately. So I'd rather just draw these cards that I can use to stop my opponent or halt them from playing, and then hope to just draw my Maliss girls so that I can combo off. Yeah, it just feels kind of bad being stuck with like an Engage or like a Hornet drones with no Malice cards, you know. But yeah, I just think these are the best supplementary engine, just hand traps. I took a lot of inspiration from the OCG with this. They're playing obviously like Max C and they have Called by it too, but if you just kind of like fix the ratios for what we have in the TCG, then this is pretty much like the best version of the deck in my opinion. I might go up on the Bestials a little bit just for like that extra consistency boost, but for now 4 is fine. And Nib is just really good. It kind of solos the Fiendsmith deck if they don't have cross out or cross.
How did you feel about the Malice players that are playing the Fiendsmith package?
I just think that you don't need it, and you lose to stuff that you shouldn't lose to, like Droll, Shifter, Bestials. So I just didn't see the reason to play it. But I can understand the ceiling is much higher because if you get Lancia, we can just make like a Desiree or a Caesar, but it's just not my playstyle. I'd rather just like either cross it out or like thrust into a D-barrier or something to stop you.
And minus your last 2 rounds, did you feel like your deck break it in consistency?
So there were a few times where I didn't draw a Malice Girl, but I was able to just use my non-engine to kind of weather the storm, so to say. It was more often than not just me trading interactions smartly with my opponent. That was the difference between the game, more so than like me going full combo. Because I don't think I made some of the cards in my extra deck once yesterday, just because I was getting hand trapped or I was getting stopped or I had to like deviate from the original line.
Okay. Let's move on to the side deck.
Yeah, so for the side deck, we have a few cards that, you know, just make sense in this type of build. We have, to start off, 3 Crossout Designator. So this is for the card that you lose to, which is Lancia, Nib. I never really cross out the little hand traps. I try to just beat them and then keep playing through them. But this card is just really good for the ones that you 100% hard to lose, such as Lancia, Impulse, and Nibiru. So the reason for Lancia is just for the mirror. I was originally playing just one of this in the 3 crossouts, but I just want to play into the mirror better, so these are the 9 cards that I decide into it. The Impulse is really good for hitting their White Binder, or if the hand is bad, you can just hit any of the Malice Girls so that they don't come back and then they just pass. But yeah, these 9 are just really good. Into the mirror and like outside of it.
And how good was Impulse for you?
Impulse, I used it one time to hit a Artifact Sanctum, and it won me the game. It just has a lot of versatility that you don't get with other cards, and it lets you save your Ash Blossom. For decks like Branded, which I actually played round 1, I was able to just Impulse's Fusion, and then I used the Ash for, something. I think it was Deployment, just so you couldn't get cartoon.
I mean, you would know that deck better inside and out.
He's playing some dolls, but you know, shout out to him. He started the journey.
Okay.
For the rest of this side deck, we have a few thrust targets. We have 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Duster, 1 Ultimate Slayer, 2 Thrust, and 1 D-Barrier. So this is subject to change. This card was really good for me yesterday, but I don't think I can justify the extra deck space anymore. I kind of want to sub it out for a Dark Charmer, so by taking out the card that I run in my extra deck, I will not be able to play this anymore, unfortunately. The Thrust, just for the D-Barrier, and then for anything else that's in my deck. And then these are just for the random matchups. A lot of the Rizio Fiendsmith players are just playing strikes now, so this helps to clean up that, and it can clean up their cross. And then for the like random rogue decks too.
So how did you feel about D-Barrier? Because I heard a lot of people cutting that card out because of Fiendsmith Rizio.
So it's only really good if you have something else with it. Unfortunately, gone are the days of pure Rizio when you can just flip D-Barrier and they pass their turn. You have to have some type of hand trap or some type of like actual engine for the card to actually do anything, but it is still really good because you pigeonhole you bottleneck their strategy, because you can just force them into the Fiendsmith stuff. And then GWC06 and White Binder do really well with just cleaning up all the Fiendsmith stuff in the graveyard.
Okay. And now we move on to the extra deck?
Yes, for the extra deck. So for the Link ones, we have 1 Link Strider, 1 Link Decoder, and 1 Linger Eagle. So this card is so good in the mirror match. You just like summon any Malice Girl and then link it into this, and then you just turn off all their interruptions. Link Decoder is just the best extra body Link 1. You link all Dotskeeper into him, and then you link him off, and then you get the extra free body. And then this is probably the worst one, unfortunately. The theory behind it is pretty solid. If you get Nib, you can convert that Nib token into a Cyburst, but it never really comes up that you have an extra body and a way to keep playing. But the theory behind it was solid, you know.
Okay.
Then we have one Splash Mage, one SP Little Knight, and one Haggard Lizardos. This is by far the best one in the deck. He just is an honorary Maliss card, letting you banish for cost to just basically reborn any of your girls is just really broken. And we have SP Little Knight, which is kind of the same idea. You can target to banish any of your Maliss cards and bring it back, and she's a 2, so in a pinch you can just link this off. You can make this, banish one of your girls, bring it back, and then you get just a free 3. And then Splash Mage is, she's the one that I use the least, but she's technically the best Cyberse extender. Just a reborn from grave, but she locks you into Cyberse. So I usually only use this when I either have to, or if I'm just trying to bait out interruptions.
Okay.
And on to the 3s, we have the 3 Maliss girls, we have the 1 Hearts Cryptor, the 1 Red Ransom, and the 1 White Rider. By far, she's the best one. Nashadal Ariel, banish 3 cards from the graveyard every turn, and set a trap from the deck and graveyard. Red Ransom, she's really good too. A free body whenever she gets banished, and she searches your field spell. And then Hearts Cryptor is your OTK tool, because you can get her up to like 10k. With her effect and the field spell. So, yeah, these cards are just really insane. I honestly wish they would make more of these so that I can play less of the random cyber stuff in here, but I mean, even now, these cards do a lot of the hard carrying.
Okay.
Then we have the 4s. We have 1 Firewall Dragon and 1 Axis Co-Stalker. This is an honorary Maliss card just because you can kind of bait some interruptions and then link it to him with one of the Maliss girls, and then just use his effect to banish them for cause to get it to come back and then get the extra effects. It's just always game. Firewall Dragon is my favorite card in extra deck. This card lets you just loop back stuff that you shouldn't be looping back. There was one time during the regional I just looped back my Lancia, and he just couldn't play because, yeah, Firewall, Lancia, plus, you know, all the other random non-engine just is too much. But I think the skill ceiling for this deck is really what you're doing with this card. If you're not like adding back 2 hand traps or adding back some floodgates, then you're probably just not doing it right.
That's very smart.
Then for the last link, we have 1 Terahertz. This was the card that I actually made the least yesterday, and it's funny because in all of my testing, this is the card I made the most. So, I mean, his effect is really broken. Dump a Cyberse from deck or extra deck, so it gives you Code of Soul access when you don't have it, or the other cards that are in the extra deck. But I can see myself cutting this and maybe playing like a Griffin or something just to leverage those bodies into something more useful. Because I need 3 Cyberse for this, and there's not a lot of times when I just want to link 3 Cyberse girls into this.
I have seen people doing the Griffin lock. Did you happen to think of playing that at all, or?
I did think of it, but I just couldn't justify it because I think that, I don't know, I think certain cards are just better. I could see myself doing like maybe Firewall SP, because I've seen people do Griffin SP, but I just don't think that's as good as Firewall SP. Firewall SP is kind of the same theory as Baron SP, right?
Yep.
You can just banish it, bring it back, use the effect again, but, you know. For the last 3 cards in the extra deck, we have 1 Desaver, 1 Aggregator, and 1 Typhon. This card came up a few times yesterday because nobody's expecting this deck to be playing it. So you can just slap this down, bounce something, and sometimes just attack the game. It also helps with breaking like the half Rizel boards. You can make this on top of one of your big girls, bounce something back, and then just have this. And if this sticks, you just can't get nibbed anymore because nib has 3k attack. So
That's correct.
You know. And then for these are just the Ultimate Slayer / the Terahertz targets. Like I said, I'm thinking about just cutting this. So I'll only have 1 Terahertz target. Well, 2, right? Because Code of Soul. But I don't think I've ever sent this off of Terahertz. But that pretty much does it for the deck. All in all, like the deck performed perfectly. It did everything I wanted to do. Unfortunately, I bricked, but that's kind of just the nature of the deck. I'm not playing any Signet minings or anything to like really boost the consistency. I'm just relying on like my hand traps and the pistols and like my extenders to carry me through the rounds. But yeah, all in all, it's still like a really solid deck, and I probably will keep playing this until it dies.
All right, and can we hope to see you play at the next events coming up?
You will see me play this at the next event, but probably have to change up the listing a little bit, so stay tuned for that.
All right, so you hear it here, folks. We're gonna see you guys after next week in Saturday for Hartford.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see Shaq take the top 8 next time. Till then, see you guys soon.